a third ingenious smith. Well, they're doing some very ingenious things over there, but we're gonna be geniusly ending the game, probably. Do the thing? Nope. You can draw your card. I want Primeval Titan. Boom! Alright, we did the thing successfully. Hello, and welcome, everybody. We are here for the 5th and final match with the list that you see on screen. And like I say all the time, if you're not familiar with the deck list, check out match 1, where you can find the full deck tech. And, of course, in the description of all the videos, you can find the deck list itself. So if you just want to look over the cards, then go check it out there. But we are currently 2-2, fighting for the possible 3-2. If we go 2-3, I'll be fine with that result as well, because we have learned some interesting things, and we've gotten to see both the Lot Left Troll and Necrogen Spellbomb in practice here, actually. The last thing that we haven't been able to do yet is pop a Saga off for the Necrogen Spellbomb, so if we can manage to do that in this particular match here, then I will say that we've done everything that we've set out to do here, and we've definitely made use of the card Persist in this league. And we didn't even play against a whole lot of Thoughtseize matchups, from what I can recall. But anyways, that's what we've already done, but we're back here for more, so I will see you guys in match 5 here. Alrighty, let's hop in here for the match. Last one. Doesn't have to be the last, though. If you guys want to see more of this deck in action, and even potentially an update to the deck after this league is completed, then just let me know in the comments below. Make it known that you people like this deck and want to see it on camera. And we're on the play here against Card Wielding Cat. Super awesome name. They say good luck, have fun in the chat. I will say you too. And we have turn 1 Saga into turn 3 crack it for an Amulet, play Dryad. We could also, I guess if we find a Azusa or Grazer off the top, then we can make this a turn 3 Titan, since we do have the bounce land ready to go. Usually on the draw, I would probably mulligan this kind of hand, as it's basically just a turn 3 Dryad kind of hand, but I think on the play, especially since Saga is going to give us access to Amulet, and we have Pact and the Rot Farm ready to go, I feel like we are supposed to keep this. In game 2 and 3, where our opponent likely has answers for Saga, especially against things like Force of Vigor or whatever, then I might actually mulligan this hand, because Saga can be weak to hate in games 2 and 3, but in game 1 it's probably fine. So, of course, we'll lead out on the Saga here. Try to get the ball rolling, you know. Inkmoth Nexus. Spring Leaf Drum. Okay, so I was afraid this was going to be Infect, actually. The fact that it's Affinity makes me feel a little better, but it's still not... It depends on whether they have a cranial plating type of build or something else. If they plating an Inkmoth, we could easily die that way, but honestly, I'm not super worried about it anymore. Now that our opponent is playing Ornithopter. I was like, oh no, we're just going to get turn 3 infected out of the game. And that didn't happen, so... I don't know why my first intuition when I see a turn 1 Inkmoth Nexus is Infect. I guess Affinity hasn't really been back in the format for very long, has it? Ingenious Smith. Oh, my bad. This is Hammer Time, with a no white source draw, apparently. And no, they got Cranial Plating. Alright, our opponent is playing an interesting build. It could still be Hammer Time, actually. Even Hammer Time does sometimes play one of Cranial, so obviously we'll float the mana here. And if I'm not mistaken, we might actually just have Titan. We have 2 mana, 4 with the Rot Farm, Grazer up to 5, Summoners Pact for second Grazer up to 6, Titan. Let's see, we'll have 2 green and 2 not green. We'll use 1 green down to a green and 2, play Rot Farm up to 2 green and 3, Pact for Grazer, play Grazer down to 1 green and 3, and go up to 2 green and 4. So we do have enough green to cast Titan here as well. I mean, let's see. So we're going to end up picking up Overgrown Tomb and leaving the Rot Farm in play. Haste off of Boros Garrison, something else, and attack and get, I guess, Valcut and a green land. So that way we can pay for Pact. I mean, it works. I guess we're doing it. I mean, we don't really have much else to do, so. Alright, we'll pick up the Rot Farm. Play Grazer. Put out the Rot Farm. I guess we can't haste off the Stronghold, can we? That's interesting. Because then our Titan comes into play. I guess we just get immediately Valakut and Greenland off jump, and then we have the 4 mana in play, so it's still probably right to play Titan here, I think. I guess it could be weak to our opponent having Ghost Quarter, but I really am not expecting that, so I'm not playing around it. Razor. No attacks, but Titan in play is pretty good. Setting up a Valakut to go along with the Dryad that we have is also pretty good. The Titan. And it's going to be Valakut and a green source so we can pay for our pact. So there's the Valakut. And I guess the green source can just be an Overgrown Tomb. I don't see why not. Say no. I guess we could have gotten a bounce land and Valakut and then played Dryad and then play land after, and that would have been a little more efficient use of our mana, but yeah, actually that might have been a huge punt. We'll attack with Titan, get Valakut bounce land, and then play Dryad second main phase and just have all the Valakut triggers, so we'll be fine here, as long as our opponent doesn't hammer combo us. But it would have been probably a little bit better to get Dryad into play here, so we don't have to pay the 3 mana next turn. We're just not going to use this 2 mana. We don't need to talk about that. What green mana? What are you talking about? Another Ingenious Smith. A little slow. Esper Sentinel. Okay. At least we're getting some information. We do see basic planes. So this is more likely a third Ingenious Smith. Well, they're doing some very ingenious things over there, but we're going to be geniusly ending the game, probably. Swing for 2? Nope. Okay. Well, let's not lose the game. Thank you very much. Another Titan. Interesting. All right. We attack, get Valakut, bounce land, pick up, I guess, Valakut, play land Valakut, send 2 triggers somewhere. Interesting. We could get bounce land Ghost Quarter, so they can't hammer a Nexus and kill us that way. We have infinite blockers, though. Let's see. We kill 2 creatures. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 attackers. So as long as we put 1 on the Nexus and 1 on, and then block everything else, we could be taking, I guess, a maximum like 10 damage, unless they can double hammer us somehow. Let's see. We attack, get Valakut, bounce land, pick up a land, play land, double Valakut trigger. It's not going to be lethal. I wonder if they trade with our Titan as well. Alright, well, I'm going to combat and attacking. Yep. We'll get second Valakut, and I guess just Simic. So that if we need to transmute Telarios in the future, we can. And here we'll pick up... I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll just pick up the Overgrown Tomb. Why not? Blockers? You want to trade with the Titan? Get it out of play? No? Opponent goes to 14. We're not going to be able to kill them. Alright, let's start by playing out a land here. And I'm going to make it the Sunhome, since we're going to want that one to play. And now we play Dryad, so we immediately can go to land drop and get Valakut triggers. I'm going to play the Tomb as well. And we'll kill a couple of these Smiths, I guess. If we kill Ornithopter and Memnite, then our opponent would have to have a 0 artifact and activate Nexus and another land in order to play Pure Steel. I'm not really worried about Pure Steel Paladin here, so let's just kill the Smiths. Get the maximum damage off the table. We'll always yes, always yield. And yeah, that's done. If we had played Dryad last turn, then we might have gotten an additional 2 Valakut triggers here, so I haven't done all the math. We would have already had 2 land plays this turn to start with, so maybe, maybe not. Alright, we win the game anyways. Play not exactly, get rewarded. I'm not going to say play imperfectly. Actually, I guess that was kind of an imperfect play. I don't know, whatever. Let's just bring in the good cards and take out the bad cards. Alright, against them last time we cut the Bog, we cut a Summoner's Pact. I think we cut 2 packs. We cut Crumbling Vestige, which actually I don't know if that's a good choice now I'm looking at it and thinking about it, but whatever. We can cut the Spell Bomb, as it's unlikely we're going to be popping a Saga and not just winning off of that. We'll probably lose before then, so not concerned about it. We can trim 1 Unmarked Grave, as they do not much by themselves. We can trim... Now we're back to that. We have to trim like 5 cards, and I have no clue what to cut. I guess we can trim 1 Fetch Land. Just because I feel like it. We can trim... I think I like the Lotleth Troll. Pretty sure I like the Lotleth Troll. Let's trim... I don't know. Let me know in the comments. What would you cut here? I'm at a loss. We can trim a basic forest, I guess, as we have fetches to do that thing. Don't want to trim any sagas, really. They do have some enchantment hate, but it's not a whole lot. It would be diluting their plan a bit. We can trim a persist, I suppose. I'm okay with that. Don't want to have multiples. Razor's too good. Amulet's too good. Dryad's too important. Dismember's not good after they've already resolved the hammer, so maybe trimming on Dismembers is fine. It's also kind of insane, if I'm being honest, but we'll trim one Overgrown Tomb because I want to play this combo. We're up a game against this matchup. We're going to play the combo, and if we decide it doesn't work out, we're going to cut it and hope we can win a game 3. This is more about the learning than it is about the results, so we have Persist and Unmarked Grave. We cannot do anything until turn 3, however, unless we top deck and untap land off the top. Let's see, we sided out Foothills, Tomb, Vestige, and a Forest. Okay. And we brought in 2 untapped sources, so we have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16... What am I counting? That's not even accurate. We can't play Vesuva untapped because we need a Dryad to use it. Right? And we decided out a Foothills, a Forest, the Vestige, and a Tomb. So we have, it looks like 13 untapped sources out of 53 cards. Oh, we have a Misty in hand as well. So we have 12 untapped sources out of 53 cards. I'm going to go pull up the hypergeometric calculator real quick. Alright, so our number of successes is 12 in the population, since we have 12 possible top-decking untapped sources. We have 53 cards in deck currently, and let's take a sample size of 2, because we're going to have 1 draw for turn, and then 1 draw on turn 2 to hit that second land draw. We want to see one of those 12 untapped sources. We'll calculate 40%. I would be way more comfortable if it was 50% or above. 40% is kind of low. Yeah, I think on 40%, especially since we don't even have Amulet. I guess we could draw Amulet as well, so we can increase the successes to 16. Now it's up to 51. If we top deck Amulet or Grazer even to play on turn 1, then we get to play the turn 2 thing. So Amulet plus Grazer puts us up to 20 hits. It's 61%. I'm going to risk it. It could be wrong, but Amulet, untap land, Grazer off the top, any of those things will do us good. We have 20 good hits out of 53 cards. I mean, 2 draws to hit one of those 2. I guess Grazer's not as good on turn 2, but they lead on Springleaf Drum. If they have a 0, they do. They have 2 zeros. Interesting. That works, actually. We can play the land and the next turn fetch Shock and cast Unmarked Grave, and then the turn after Persist. I mean, it works. Mesa. I mean, this is just getting a Titan into play on turn 3 with no Valka trigger, so it may not even be strong enough. Unless our opponent is just doing this. Then I don't really mind. We're soon to run out of Primeval Titans to put into our grave. Obviously, we need the Overgrown Tomb here. Now take the 2 damage, because what do you take me for? Well, Grave. Bin, Primeval Titan, and pass. I highly doubt our opponent has any kind of graveyard interaction here to stop what we're doing, so. They have red. Interesting. It looks like this might be more of just like an Affinity-inspired list, rather than like a Hammer Time list or something. I don't know. Getting in with the crew. I respect it. They're about to draw a card from their Sentinel, but... do the thing? Nope. You can draw your card. I want Primeval Titan. Boom! Alright, we did the thing successfully. We already have a Valcut. We could get Saga and something else here. That would prevent us from being able to do the Dryad thing, though. If they don't have an answer to Dryad, having 4 lands in play, we could pack Dryad, play... I guess on 3 lands, we could play a land, then go to combat and attack, right? But all of our lands are bouncing, so we'd have to pick up a land. We could play both lands, then attack and get two Valcuts, and that would be 2 lands entering times 3 Valakuts is 6 triggers, which is 18 damage, plus trample damage from Titan would probably be lethal. That said, I don't know, do we want to expose ourselves? I think Saga's pretty free here. And then the other one, Fetch Land would guarantee that we have lethal. Green Source would let us pact and pay for it. That's way down the line, though. I'm not super concerned about it. I guess just Fetch Land is fine. I'm going to go for Saga Fetch Land, and we'll pass. You know what? I don't think I actually played a land that turn. Didn't need it. Who needed it? Oops. Put Lurrus in hand. I am sorry, my friend. That is not a winning line. Springleaf Drum. Is your last card Path to Exile? No. Okay, so you're dead. That's what you're saying, is that you're dead. Cool. Alright, we'll cast this thing. Nope, you can draw your card. Get Dryad. We'll play Dryad. Go to combat. Attack. It feels too free. It's too free. It's something that is fishy about it. We'll copy Valakut and send a billion triggers at your face. And we win the game. Alright, well, hey, this time we won the game by doing the actual thing. Just turn 2 Unmarked Grave, turn 3 Persist. It was good enough. What can I say? What can I say? Well, speaking of what can I say, one thing I can say is anything that I would change about the deck, things that I like and dislike about it. But before I do that, let me reformat this to the way it looks prettiest. I will see you guys in 1 second. Alright, y'all, so I have got the deck reformatted to the way it's supposed to look. All the green sources here, all the double lands here, minus Garenrig, sad face, and all the other lands here. And let me talk just real quick about the impact that I've learned that adding Persist and Unmarked Grave has to your deck. In certain matchups where Unmarked Grave can be a huge liability as just being a dead card, it decreases some amount of consistency of the Titan strategy, because you need every single card, if I'm being completely honest, in order to work towards Primeval Titan, and Unmarked Grave doesn't really do that. I still stand by the idea that Unmarked Grave is easily the worst card in the deck. I will say, though, I was impressed by the Lot Left Troll and the Necrogen Spellbomb. I think that there are corner case scenarios where searching for a Spellbomb off Saga or packing for Lot Left Troll will, in fact, come up. But the couple times we used them, we literally just naturally drew them and were able to utilize the effect. And I'm very glad to include these two over the 2 main board Bone Shards. I think that's a totally fine change, and I would continue to play it like this moving forward. One thing I will say is, I do think that adding Unmarked Grave, particularly, Persist less so, but especially Unmarked Grave, makes the deck a little tiny bit weaker against decks that you value consistency. Because Unmarked Grave, like I said, just doesn't do anything, and especially in some matchups where all their removal is exile-based, Persist is not really reliable either. So, in matchups where you need to have a very concise plan and you need to mulligan aggressively for it, especially bad matchups, like, I would say, like Storm, like Hammer Time, aggressive matchups, even the Burn matchup, these cards are kind of a liability, because your natural plan of just getting to Titan is very strong. Now, it's possible that just boarding all of the combo cards out and bringing in, like, real cards instead in those matchups is fine. I would say that this is one of the best builds that you can possibly be playing against discard spells in particular. If your metagame is filled with a ton of Jund boomers and you want to stomp on them in a way that they will never forget, then punish them for thought-seizing your Titan by persisting that Titan right into play the turn after, because you just top-deck the Persist. You know? It's really good against the, I would say, the Black-Green X Lurrus type strategies. I actually think that this deck does have a real place, but I think it's kind of metagame dependent. To be honest, I feel like I would need to play with it more to understand exactly how this deck list functions. But, as I showed, going 3-2, even when I'm over here playing, doing some risky things, just playing to learn, and playing to have fun, and not necessarily always trying to just gun straight for the win, we still managed to 3-2 and go infinite, quote-unquote, and we played some meta decks, I think, that are pretty representative of this, and we're still learning how to play this exact list. So not only is this deck not completely tuned, you can make changes. I think that adding a couple Garen Briggs somehow would be a good change. Maybe even it's worth cutting the main board Bog, as even though that might be sacrilege, we already have tons of black sources in these fetch lands and the rot farms. So I could see doing something like cutting Bog to add a Garen Brig, perhaps. I don't necessarily think that it's required, but it could help, so I'll give it a shot. I'll go ahead and officiate that by putting the Garen Brig in the deck here. But regardless, I don't know. I think it's a solid strategy, believe it or not. I actually think that this is on a similar power level to just Amulet in general right now. So if you are a fan of the Persist combo package, you could even throw some crazy one-ups in the sideboard if you want to just have some fun at FNM or whatever, you know. Throw some crazy non-legendary creatures like Archon of Cruelty or just whatever random gatherer search things that you pick up. You know, if you want to play some freaking Hornet Queens or whatever and just max out on Unmarked Graves, you could cut the Troll, add a Grave, keep the Spellbomb, it'd be fine, and just go ham. You can totally do that. And that's what I love about this list, is it's customizable, it's unsolved, but it is obviously very powerful. I don't think it kills us consistently the same turn as just playing Titan with Amulet out does, but honestly, the biggest advantage of playing a Titan deck is once you resolve the Titan, you've effectively already won, even if you haven't literally won that turn. And yes, having Amulet of Vigor out does help you win the exact turn the Titan comes into play on some occasions. Usually you're setting up a virtual kill, and we did that several times, getting a Titan into play off Persist, setting up a virtual kill with Dryad and Valakut, and then executing that kill the turn after, and there's nothing our opponent could do anyways. So I think this list is strong. If you want to play this at FNM, or even if you want to play this in leagues or in some high-level tournaments just for the meme of it, or because you think the list is strong and it's your preferred playstyle, I think that this deck can definitely compete. So definitely keep this on your radar, I would say, and let me know if you want to see this deck in action again. Let me know what you would change as well. What would you like to see in this deck list? What would you like to see out of this deck list? And I don't have much else to say. So yeah, guys, that's all of my opinions on this deck so far. It was a blast to play, and I look forward to maybe playing again in the future. So let me know if that's something you want to see, and I will see you guys in the next league. This is Red Face Menace, signing off.